Morning peeps, good morning everyone. All right, before we talk about the latest developments in the Fury AJ saga, because there has been some more developments, I'm sure you guys are aware of that. Let's quickly see what else there is to talk about from the world of boxing. Let's start with this one. Joseph Parker promises revival. Joyce beatdown. I believe I belong at the top. Can't wait for this fight. Honestly, can't wait for it. I was so disappointed when it got cancelled or postponed a few months ago, and I thought we're never going to see it, right? Joyce on BT Sports, Joseph Parker had signed this deal with Boxer and Sky Sports, and I thought, well, that's that then. I'm so happy it's happening. Joseph Parker looked fantastic, I thought, against Chisora. And I know some might say, well, Chisora, right? But still, he looked faster, he looked sharper. He looked a lot more aggressive as well. And the engine looked like it was a bit better. I've always sort of felt with Joseph Parker, the engine sort of runs dry around 9-10, but the engine looked like it was sort of strong all the way through. And he's going to need that engine against Joyce. Unless he can really dent Joyce, he's going to need that. He's going to need a 15-round engine. Because Joyce, we know, can go 1-12 without blinking. Or it looks like that anyway. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. The only disappointment with this, and this is boxing killing boxing, is that obviously Lee Wood, Mauricio Lara, I think it's true, is on the same date. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? So that's a big shame. But apart from that, can't wait for it. I do think he looks a lot better now under Andy Lee. I think this is their third fight camp or fourth fight camp. He's obviously training alongside Tyson Fury. I mean, just from a mental standpoint, obviously look, stylistically Fury's completely different from him, but just from a mental standpoint, to be in the same camp as Tyson Fury, whose mental game seems to be 100 all the time, you're not going to beat that, man. You're not going to beat that. Bivol expects Beterbiev to be a more difficult opponent than Canelo. You don't say. Of course he is. I mean, I know some people like to look at Beterbiev's age and say, oh, you know, he's getting on a bit. Man's a killer. I mean, we all saw what he did to Joe Smith. He's a killer. And you hurt him, he just hurts you even more. Because you can hurt him, by the way. I think we've seen this, right? It's not like he's never been down before. We've seen him with really bad cuts. I mean, people have caught him on the chin clean. But it almost seems to piss him off. And then he really just wants to hurt you. He is a vicious boxer. And that'll be a really good fight. Hopefully it happens. Obviously, Bivol's got Ramirez coming up in November. Hopefully he gets past that, and then we'll see what happens with this Beterbiev Anthony Yarde situation. But yeah, can't wait for that. All right, let's just get to it, because there is other news, but let's kind of get to the news that you guys are more interested to talk about, and that's this Fury AJ situation. Now, we've been doing videos back to back here because it seems to change so much, right? Like yesterday we did a video, we was talking about potentially the split being 75-25, and I'm like, well, AJ's not going to accept that. That's a stumbling block. Now we're hearing that AJ's been offered 60-40. And it's not just a case of Tyson Fury putting it out there. Eddie Hearn has confirmed that he has received an offer from Frank Warren and Tyson Fury's team of a 60-40 split. The only big problem with that 60-40 split is that they're asking AJ to fight November 12th. Well, obviously he's not going to do that. Now, there is a December 17th date held as well. That was the initial date for Fury's return. That date's been held, but I don't know if a venue's been held. Obviously, even if a venue was held, the venue wouldn't be the same venue for a Fury AJ fight, because that's a stadium fight, and a venue being held for a Fury comeback fight would probably be an arena. So there's a date being held at least, that's December 17th, but the initial offer is a 60-40 split, and that's for November 12th. Obviously, AJ isn't going to fight November 12th. It's ridiculous. Obviously not. So I don't even see the point of that offer being given. AJ's just had a fight. He's going to want a rest, and he's going to have to go back into camp. He's not going to be ready for November 12th. So already we're seeing games being played that don't need to be played. That offer is obviously going to be rejected. A 60-40 split offer probably shouldn't be rejected. Like I said on a video, maybe a couple of videos ago, that AJ Fury is a 50-50 fight, and I know a few of you shot me down, understandably so. 60-40 sounds fair. Now, is it 60-40 of everything? Because this is where it starts to get a bit complicated. And look, to be fair, we as fight fans shouldn't really care about this, but look, we've got ourselves involved in purse splits before, so let's do it again. 60-40, is that a split of pay-per-view buyers? Is 60-40 a split of all the sponsorship that comes in? Is 60-40 a split of all the bums on the seats? What is it? if it is 60-40 split of everything down the middle, 60-40, whatever comes in, we just split it, then it's too good an offer for AJ to turn down, I believe, for December. And I kind of stutter with that, I believe, because look, if you're AJ, and I tweeted this, I think you guys probably saw it, I put it on the community tab. If you're AJ, this is a fucking big decision. You're coming off back-to-back defeats, yeah? Mentally, I think we all saw what happened after the fight. Mentally, he seems a bit fragile right now. I mean, if you are fragile mentally a bit, and we've seen that, right? Then the last person you want to sort of have press conference with and meetings with is Tyson Fury. I mean, fuck me. So look, you're coming off back-to-back defeats. Now, do you deviate from your plan? His plan would have been maybe a warm-up fight, maybe a gimme fight, right? Gives you more time to kind of nail things down with Robert Garcia, and you get your confidence back. And then you go into a bigger fight in the summer. Or do you just say, fuck it, let's just go for the biggest British fight we've seen of all time now, after back-to-back defeats? It's not as easy as people think. People, I think I've seen my man Adam Cattrall say, look, he's got to do it, right? It's a free swing. It's never a free swing. It's not a free swing. I mean, what does it do to you? Like, what does it do to you mentally if AJ, who right now is not in the best position, gets bashed up by Tyson Fury? What does it do? It's not like AJ needs the money. This isn't about money. Obviously, every fighter wants to get paid. It's called prize fighting, right? The prize is ultimately the money. It's not the belts. But you don't... Like, if AJ gets bashed up, like if Fury just plays around with him and just... Then what? I don't know. Or, you know, you wait and look, you might miss the opportunity of a Tyson Fury fight, but you wait, you get your mental game back up, you get the confidence back up, you knock a couple of guys out. When was the last time we've seen Anthony really floor someone hard? And people might say Kubrat Puda, but I'm talking about out. We haven't seen that. So maybe you do that instead. It's not an easy decision. It's not an easy one. And I wouldn't want to be in Camp AJ advising on this one. I really wouldn't want to be it. Because look, I thought, I'm a big AJ fan, obviously, I've got to state this, but I thought Tyson Fury would have beaten AJ before. I thought it was a close fight, but I thought before. Now, I'm like, jeez. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I know some people have jumped at it saying, yeah, take it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder what Robert Garcia would advise. After watching AJ now against Usyk, I wonder if he's thinking, no, we need to work on it quite a bit before we put you in there against the elite. Usyk was one thing. Fury, to be fair, I thought Usyk stylistic is a tougher, but Fury is just the number one heavyweight on the planet. So you've lost to Usyk, you're now actually saying, okay, we're going to go higher. Doesn't quite work like that sometimes. So it will be interesting to see what they do. I know December 17th's a date. I think this fight will happen. Let's just my own 2 cents on it. I think the fight will happen, but I actually think the fight will happen in January or February. I just feel like a fight of this magnitude, I mean, Eddie's come out and spoken about how difficult it is to, not all the things that have to happen behind the scenes for a fight of this magnitude to take place. And I do wonder if they need an extra month. Look, I want it to happen December 17th, but then they've got to look at it as well. Like, when is the World Cup final? I should know this. Shouldn't I? I am a sports guy, a football guy as well, but I just don't know. World Cup final date. Okay, the World Cup final is the 18th of December. You don't want to, like, if England are anywhere, this is the gamble you make, right? If England are anywhere near quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals when it comes to the World Cup, the last thing you want to do, and I know how big AJ Fury is, and some people might say, well, it's big, and it's not. It's football. You don't want to try and get shine and eyeballs off the World Cup. You're going to lose. Even Fury AJ, I think, will lose when it comes to football. We saw the hysteria when it came to the Euros, with England just winning a few games, then getting to the final. The country literally went into meltdown. You don't want to be trying to compete with football. And although we're here in December 17th and the World Cup final was the 18th, if England are in a position, and they could get there, by the way, if England are in a position where they get to the World Cup final, you're losing. You're losing if you're thinking that you're going to somehow remove eyeballs from that. Because we know that most of the boxing fans are football fans, just hand in hand. And if they have to pick one, a lot of these boxing fans are going to pick football. It's true. It's true. But we'll see. Look, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Eddie said that AJ will accept December 17th, 60-40. This is fact. This is what Eddie has stated. So AJ looks like he's already made his mind up. He wants to rock and roll with Tyson Fury. Oh, man. Decisions. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if I make another video tomorrow because it just keeps on moving. Everything just keeps on changing. Before it started, think about where we are now. 3 days ago, it was a call out. It was a call out, that's all it was. Fury reaching out to AJ. I made a video on that. AJ responds, made a video on that. Now it's a case of, okay, let's see if a deal is real. Are they just talking because we've seen it from that side before, or are they legit? Now we know it's legit because Frank Warren and Tyson Fury have sent an offer over. It just keeps on moving so quickly. I did say yesterday that this is the kind of deal that needs to be ironed out so quick if they really want to get it on December 17th. I actually said it needs to be done within a week. We'll soon find out. A man that's going to have interest and watch what's going on there is Deontay Wilder. The second reign is going to be a fun reign for me. He is back. Okay, we'll see. I think Helenius is a fucking banana skin, and I've said this before, but we'll see. It's good to see Wilder back. It's good to see him at boxing events, doing interviews. He got into the ring after Andy Ruiz's win. I think Mauricio Suleiman has basically said these are two semi-finals. Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz was one semi-final. Helenius, Wilder's another semi-final. The winners face each other. Then the winners are WBC mandatory to face what probably will be Tyson Fury unless he vacates. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. Leo Santa Cruz, we want the rematch with Gervonta Davis. That's what these fans want. No, they don't. No fan, apart from fans of Santa Cruz, are asking for Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Sorry, we're asking for Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis. We're asking for Loma versus Gervonta Davis. We're asking Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. People might be asking about Leo, but that's far down the pecking order, my friend. Far down the pecking order. Jake Paul is fighting Anderson Silva, October sometime. That's a risky fight, you know. I mean, that's a risky fight for Jake Paul, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Obviously, they're not going the Hasim Rahman thing anymore. Hasim Rahman's fighting Vitor Belfort as part of the DAZN's X Series, October 15th, I believe the date is. I'm interviewing Hasim Rahman when I get to Vegas to talk about the fight, and just like he's almost like hit jackpot here, Hasim Rahman. When you think about it, like before the Jake Paul call out, there wasn't much noise or much interest in anyone talking about Hasim Rahman or who Hasim Rahman's fighting. He's actually too small for a heavyweight, and I don't know if he's maybe weighs a bit too much for a cruiserweight, but standing next to him, he's actually too small for a heavyweight. And all of a sudden now, there's a lot of interest in Hasim Rahman because of this Jake Paul call out. And now he's fighting Vitor Belfort. It's strange how it's all worked out for him, but good luck to him, get your money. But yeah, back to Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's got very, very good hands. The fight will be at 187-pound catch weight or something I saw. Good luck to Jake Paul in this one. Good luck, man. I don't know about this, I really don't. Now, okay, October 29th it is, Showtime pay-per-view. Did you guys see, I think Gareth A. Davis, I think we'll end on this one actually. Gareth A. Davis tweeted out that the KSI card for DAZN did 425,000 buys or something along those lines. Now, I do believe the price point was a lot cheaper than your usual pay-per-view, but still, I mean, DAZN are going to be very, very happy with that. I guess the only problem that DAZN might have going forward is, can they do big cards like this without KSI? Like, what will the interest be without KSI? Because obviously they've signed this Misfits, DAZN, Kali Sauerland, Wasserman thing. Will the numbers always be that good? Or is this only based on KSI? And Deji was on the card as well. Be interesting to see. I do wonder if AJ will take this up. I don't think he will, but Usyk has offered AJ assistance for his comeback. If he needs my help, I'll go to his camp. It's interesting that. Like, do you do that? We've seen it before with people. People have done that in the past. I do wonder, like, if AJ is fighting Fury, obviously Fury, you know, stylistically different, but awkward. Do you bring in an Usyk to camp? Do you do that? Like, sparring Usyk, or do you think, I ain't bringing him to camp because potentially I want to fight him again, or is that boat sailed? We've seen it already twice now. Don't know. All right, guys, we're done. Peace and love. Don't forget, Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall this weekend. I'm going to do a video on that. Might do it now, actually. Might quickly do it now. I think that Sky missed a trick here by not doing a face-off for Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgardner. They just had the two presenters. How have I forgot his name? But Tasha Jonas was one of them. Can't remember the other guy's name. That's really bad. But they had those guys interviewing them, and I'm thinking there's probably more heat in that rivalry, believe it or not, than Shields Marshall. I know that sounds crazy, but honestly, Michaela Mayer, Baumgardner despise each other, and I think there was an opportunity for a face-off there. But hey, still can't wait for it. We'll do a video about it, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But other than that, peace.